PSVR. Okay, so I've got a PlayStation PSVR version 1 here, and they just announced the PSVR 2.
This is
It's
the
going to be
VR headset that's a peripheral for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, just in case people don't know. So you put it on and you get to enter these virtual worlds in these video games.
It's super fun. It's VR. There's VR and there's AR. VR is virtual reality. AR is augmented reality. The PSVR 2 is a VR headset and it's got higher resolution. It's going to have a wider range of view. It already has a pretty wide range of view, but
God,
it's going to
Peter,
have a
I've
wider
been
range of
out
view.
of the loop. I didn't even hear that PlayStation was coming up with I didn't even know they recovered from their supply shock COVID. I mean, look, I checked to see what games were coming out, and there was like God of War is not on the list, and Horizon Zero Dawn or whatever. I was like, I'll get PlayStation 5 when PlayStation 6 comes out. But you're telling me the VR thing is like worth taking a look at?
It is, even though it has a cable. A Facebook user here. I'm sorry, I can't say your name here, but it says, "Imagine using VR that still has cables." I think I know who's posting this. I'm not gonna. I'm not. I think it's Alex, but I'm not
It
sure.
has to be
Um,
Alex.
yeah, because we were talking about the Quest. There's the Quest 2, which doesn't have any cables. It's really great. It's probably the most popular VR unit out there. It doesn't have as widest field of view. Pixels are probably sharper on that, and different types of games. But one of the benefits for having a cable is that you get high refresh rates. You get, you can have a higher resolution and all that stuff. So there are trade-offs. But
And
I'm
I've
super
never seen
excited
the
about it.
cable being a problem when I'm using it
It's a
at home. Like,
problem. I mean, there's no games that I've played on PSVR where you're required to turn around behind you, and it's because you can't
oh, I
you can't
see. And
do
the other
that.
ones you can turn around. I get it. I get it.
You're all around. You can map your room. It also has AR in that you can actually press a button, or if you poke your head through the boundary, it will show you your actual house, which is really required when it comes to VR. You put on that
That's true.
VR thing and you kind of feel isolated and alone. I play scary games or whatever, even if I'm just playing regular games, especially at night, I got to like peek out and go and check the door. It's called
That's
a
right.
VR paranoia, and I don't know who's around me. Like, you're just
I have
totally
two
blocked off.
cats, and when they touch me while I'm playing Beat Saber, I want to lose my mind. I want to kick and flail about. I have just two lightsabers, I think, on my hand, doing nothing to protect me. Who knows if it's a cat? Yeah.
Yeah, so PSVR is coming out. I'm very excited about that. I'm happy for the world that's going to create. I want to talk about VR in a second, but there's an Apple event coming out. Apple event happening April 20th, and I got my fingers crossed. I mean, it's a long shot, but I'm really hoping that they finally release their VR unit, because they've been creating a VR unit. It's sort of on the level of Microsoft HoloLens. It's going to be like a $3,000 US device, right? So it's going to be, HoloLens is used for product development in companies and all that stuff.
So it's going to be
So I
the
don't.
AirPod Maxes of VRs, just like
Yeah, yeah.
it's like
Look, it's going to be.
if you don't have any cryptocurrencies, you can afford this VR headset. Just keep walking along.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's 8K resolution per eye.
Why don't they just say a million K? Like, I'll believe them. I need glasses. I take off this thing. I put on the VR lens. Whatever. It's all 720p to me.
I really hope that Apple comes out with a VR lens sooner
Wait. So
rather than
would you
later.
actually like? I mean, obviously, you wouldn't consider getting this VR headset, but do you think it's going to be like a game changer? Like,
Well, I'll
it'll
get
raise
it if
the bar for
Bitcoin.
everybody else?
If Bitcoin does better, then yes, it will raise the bar for everyone else. That's the role of Apple. Like, that's kind of what Apple does. Like, did you know you needed AirPods? Did you know you needed an iPad? Did you know that you needed an iPod? Like, Apple is an industry leader, and if they come out with a VR set, then a lot of people are going to be very interested in it. I really do think it's going to move the needle and get people to want it. Yes, first generation will be expensive at $3,000 US, whatever. But as we progress, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, then the old one will become more affordable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I do think it will matter. It will help people go in, just like they worked with the app world and created a whole ecosystem of apps and made developers
Right.
who wanted to
Right.
go to
Right.
the app thing. If they integrate their VR set with their devices or with their smartphone or something, then I think there'll be a lot of reason. And I believe they've been preparing for this for the past few years. The LiDAR lenses in the iPad, in fact, the iPhone 12 Pro, I think Max also has that as well, where you can like scan your environment with this super accurate 3D sort of scanner. And you can even use AR applications that will have real time reflections, like real time, like you have a ball, real time the reflections of what's going on in your space, shadows, real time lighting effects that are using the light source that are in your place in order to cast shadows. So I think they've been building up something like this, A14 X chip, the M1 chip. I really think they're moving forward towards really jumping into the AR VR world. There was a whole debate that they had about VR and AR, like which path they should go down, and there was actually an internal debate and struggle about it. And I think it was Johnny Ives who said, like, who's left Apple. At this point, but he wanted AR. He's like, put the glasses on, you could still see the
Of course,
world, and then the
of
world,
course.
and then everything
That's
is
what you want.
superimposed over the world. That's what you want. Like that's I think most people will like that. When it comes to
Like the
VR,
Google
it's
Google Glass Stream. Yeah.
exactly, and it would be a much better looking glasses because it wouldn't have that weird cyborg type looking thing that Google had.
Okay, but
Um,
Peter, but here's the thing. Okay, so you're interested in having these worlds. I'm interested in the crypto component of VR, right? So the idea of, like, we're gonna have to start thinking about what happens when things can be tokenized within the digital space, which is just to say what happens when something you're seeing in a VR space is unique. When you're seeing a cup, when you're seeing a chair, that exists only in that location, because then you're gonna have stuff like if you own a piece of art in the real world, you can have the NFT, the non fungible token, the crypto version of that within the digital space, and inside your virtual space is that art that reflects that. You can have uh, uh, people create custom looks, architecture for the buildings that you live in the VR space, clothing that your character wears, stuff from other games that you can bring in, right? That sword that you got in World of Warcraft that you could put on your wall on your mantelpiece. I'm really looking forward to. I want these VR units to and AR units to really increase in quality and accessibility, because we're gonna get more of that stuff, and we get to unlock creativity and value. Because I know, like, as a uh, I'm not interested in. I know someone might not be interested in pottery in the real world, but imagine they're interested. You have all these people who are fantastic digital artists. You see games like the Last of Us and the Last of Us 2, God of War. You see Halo. These amazing environments. You get these creative, talented people who are used to using these digital interfaces in order to create something. Imagine they're able to create something unique in the game in the same way that someone with a factory or some artisanal shop are able to create something like that in the physical world. So I'm so totally excited for that VR space to meet crypto.
I wanted to comment on something that you talked about there about VR, about unique items in the digital space, because I think I didn't really understand it before. I was listening to Raul Paul today, to the
Raul
the
Paul
video
from
he put
Real
up.
Vision.
Yeah, he put out this video, and he put everything in that video. It's pretty cool, because I remember you telling me, oh, there's going to be uniqueness in the digital space. But I keep thinking, like, you can copy anything, like anything can be copied. And today I got the explanation that I really needed. It's not that there will be something in the digital space that cannot be copied, because you can copy a Mona Lisa. The what you'll have is authentication, right? You'll be able to prove that this thing is unique, that this thing was made by the creator, that this thing is authentic. And so, what one thing I can't wait for, it's like you look at a Mona Lisa and you go, well, what's the value of the Mona Lisa? Well, the canvas that it's using and the paint materials, it's not worth that much. But what makes it valuable is the who created it, and that it was created. So if you had a Mona Lisa, and I say this was created by who drew the Mona Lisa? Who was it again? I
Leonardo
totally
da
forget.
Vinci.
And you say, okay, this was created by Da Vinci,
It was a
then
drawn, it was painted, but yeah, go ahead.
painted by Da Vinci, then you go, okay, now this canvas and paint is worth more because of the relationship it had with the creator. And so
This
I cannot wait.
subjectivity is so interesting. Like, I was having this conversation with Melissa, who got a present from her sister in New Zealand, from is it Amanda Palmer, who signed, um, was it Amanda Palmer, Red? Amanda Palmer, that was the present your sister sent you? Yeah, so Amanda Palmer is this famous wife or ex-wife of Neil Gaiman, the writer, and she's a fantastic singer. Not my kind of music, but a lot of people love her. Cult following, and she had the signed copy of her book that her sister sent to her. Um, and Melissa was so excited, and I was like, "Why do you?" The book's not any better because there's a signature inside of it? And she's like, it's better to me. And that's what subjectivity is so important. It's one of the things that we didn't really properly account for in the virtual space. Like what we cared about in the virtual space, like let's say for video games, is that someone did a particular thing. They speed run a game. They did a particularly cool play or whatever. That you can be like, okay, that person did that thing. When we were playing League of Legends, if you have the esports player, okay, the way that they played it, that they went through this championship, that became unique. And even though the game was free, how they were going about playing that game mattered. But here you can have a thing where, but so that caters only to a specific type of endeavor, right? The athlete. But to be able to have subjectivity matter on, I want to say inanimate objects, but they're digital. To have subjectivity matter there, that you have in your virtual space in your Sims world, furniture made by a digitally famous uh, creator, like that will matter. I know there will be things that I get that matters to me. Look, when I go to Comic Con, I bought 3 posters for Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3. Right, and I got these posters that were made. There were these collages made by this artist. Now he sold thousands of those, but I liked having one of those. Like it mattered to me, and I paid a premium in order to have that hanging in my space. Now those are those are gone. I moved, the things happen. I don't have those. I wish I had a digital version of that I could always have put up on either a digital canvas or within my digital space. I would absolutely love that, to have the wallpaper on my computer be like, no, this is not just some HD wallpaper I downloaded from Google. This is actually a unique thing made by this artist on Fiverr or Deviant Art or on something like that. It matters to me. And that subjectivity, we're now going to be able to transact in, to monetize, to make more concrete, give value to it.
I can imagine one day you put on some AR glasses and you're walking down a town in the street and you can see Banksy art that's painted on the ground and all that stuff, unique, but only because you're tuned in to the Banksy feed or you've accessed his network that you can actually see this art. Everybody else is just seeing a regular city. You're
That's
walking
right.
by and you're seeing all kinds of stuff, and it's unique and it's created by Banksy, but it doesn't necessarily have to be in the physical space. It can be in a digital space.
Well, that to me was what the Pokemon Go craze was like, right?
Yeah.
So ever since I grew up, when I was growing up, all I ever wanted was for Pokemon to be real. Right? I would get glasses and I would stick Pokemon on them on the peripheral vision so that it looked like Pokemon were showing up in bushes as I was walking to school, and I would pretend I was attacking them. I pretend I was getting doing battles with them and storing Pokemon and Pokeballs. I loved it, and all I ever wanted was for everyone else to see it too. That's all I ever wanted. And when Pokemon Go came out and the streets were filled with thousands of people going around looking for Pikachus at electric factories and trying to get Gyarados or whatever, and everyone else through their device, like they put the device in front of them and they could see the Pokemon in the grass, right? Because it was using AR. I looked around and I said, this matters. These people are collecting these digital Pokemon, but it didn't matter. It felt real. It caused our behavior to change. It made us go out more. It made us interact with people in a different way, which is one of the ways we account for value. Like that matters, that we're able to do that.
I
And so
remember when I go ahead.
so imagine being able to catch a Pikachu, and then it's a unique Pikachu. Like there are only this many Pikachu, and you have this
Yeah.
one, and this Pikachu remembers being yours. Like digitally has a imprint that it was yours, so that you could release it back to the wild or trade it, and you could always trace back that Tom had this Pikachu. Like that same experience that got us all fired up becomes even more valuable than that. The information that we share then about where these Pikachu's are, these Pokemon are, and how they breed, and all that will become more monetizable. The what do they call them? The currencies and stuff inside the game that you're collecting, you can actually trade for something, and that token that you trade, those potions that you trade to somebody, they can then turn that into money to buy groceries at the grocery store. Like, that's the part we were missing. That people go, oh, why does it matter? Why are you going out for Pikachu's? Imagine you going out for Pikachu's, and it matters. You can buy groceries and pay your rent with it. Oh my god! Oh my god! How is this not revolutionary? Stop
I
my
love
answering.
the idea of having a Pokemon, or look, even if you don't care about Pokemon, I want to have a digital dog. I mean, a dog that grows up, that's persistent, that remembers things that I can train, but that's digital. A poop-free dog. All right? Poop-free
Okay.
dog. I can go out and walk it if I want to. I don't have to. I can go out and walk it and interact with other digital dogs out there and other creatures. Like, I want to live in a world. I had this fantasy of walking in the woods and going for hiking trails, and you're actually interacting with fairies and
That's right.
gnomes and critters that are persistent, that exist out in this digital world, but superimposed over reality, like actually there. It opens up an incredible, I mean, you could have digital friends and people you could talk to. You can have a best friend who's Einstein, who talks like Einstein, who uses an AI that's like Einstein, that could teach you all kinds of things. Like, I want to be friends with Leonardo da Vinci. Like, it's just absolutely incredible. Yeah,
Well,
it can get a little sad.
there was
You can have
no
your digital girlfriend, you can have a digital child, it'll get a little sad, but it's sad already.
well, the thing is, the technology, or the wherewithal in order to do it existed, but there was no reason to do it because you were just because of there was no digital uniqueness. There was none of this like advantage to doing that. You had to either do everything on scale, or do it for free, and then hope that that was a calling card that actually got you something else. It's sort of like there's all kinds of things that being a programmer, there's all kinds of tools that I use online that are free, and either they have a pro version, or what they're really doing is gaining visibility, so you hire them for more complicated tasks. But imagine a world where you have let's say like WordPress, the software that you use to that people can use in order to develop a website, and every part of the code that you are responsible, that you added into it, kept that memory of it. You weren't just in some list somewhere. Your digital identity was tied up in the asset, and if someone purchased it, you would get a part of the revenues for that. Well,
Yeah.
you wouldn't need to have WordPress cost $100. It could cost $1, and because so many people were using it on every installation, everyone would still get their part. It wouldn't be going through this whole it wouldn't need to pass through a bureaucracy. You would, every penny of this dollar could 99% of the value of this dollar would be sent to where it needs to be sent, or stuff like Raul was talking about in that video, where imagine an because I was thinking in the music industry, oh, it's great, cut out the middleman, and people can buy the digital asset directly from the creator, and that makes sense. That person now can go back to minting 100,000 albums, and you have one of those albums, right? But Ra was saying you could even have an artist who goes, "I'm going to make you a custom song." And you have a digital version of this. You have this custom song that is unique, and that you get to now do what you wish with it. But obviously, you'd pay far more for an original song. If I could get an original Eminem song, and I go, hey, Eminem, here's
Or
$100,000,
limited edition. It doesn't have to be
or a
unique, it
limited
could be
edition,
limited edition. Yeah.
exactly. Right. So instead of people collecting Beanie Babies and Pops, because that's the only place where they can get uniqueness and scarcity online, well, it opens up every creative aspect to that, while still being useful, actually valuable, practical, help you solve a problem, provide information or entertainment. Like, that's what it's a whole world. Remember when I was talking to you
Hey,
about
hey, hey,
crypto
buddy.
initially? Remember when
Buddy.
I was talking about
Buddy.
crypto? Yeah.
Are you gonna stop talking at any point? Okay. Can
Oh,
I
I'm
jump
sorry.
in here at
Bad
any point?
Guru is telling me that I should stop talking. How many hours have I had to listen to you live stream? All right,
I'm
this
Peter
is
Hartman
my
right
time.
now.
This
Okay,
is my
Bad
time
Guru,
to
he's an ass. I know. Bad Guru's an ass. Me, Bad Guru was a black shirt. I'm not wearing a black shirt. I'm not Bad Guru. Yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, you remember I was trying to explain to you crypto like for a while now, and it just wasn't clicking. I couldn't understand how to explain it, but slowly but surely, as you're getting into the ecosystem, you're realizing, oh, this is what people are talking about. Like this is not some this is not a Ponzi scheme. This is not a bubble. This is where it's at. This is where the
You
opportunities
have
are.
to get involved with crypto in order to truly understand it. You have to put $50 into crypto, folks. Join the club. If you join the crypto club, Bitcoin or whatever, post your comments down below. Let us know you're part of the club. Join what we're doing here because we want to interact with you. Okay, 'cause the future is going to be those who got into crypto and then everybody else. All right, but onto the VR topic. Just to wrap that up. I think this is Alex still. Again, if you want your right now, there's a bug in Restream. It turns out that if you're on Facebook, it just says Facebook user. I'm pretty sure this is Alex. I hope it's Alex. But if you go to youtube.com/happy for a change and post your comment there, I think we see your name. Alex says, I'm sure we'll have both VR and AR in one headset. Like that's the dream, right? To have glasses that can, you press a button, it turns to AR, you press a button, it turns to VR. I think that's really is the way to go. It'll help me get over my VR paranoia because when I put on that thing, you feel isolated and alone. You can't see who's around you. It's a little scary. So yeah, I'm hoping that for the Apple event on April 20th, that comes out. You know, they do this one more thing, the surprise, and maybe they haven't done a good one in quite a while since Steve Jobs, but maybe they'll surprise us with some VR thing. I don't care if it's ridiculously expensive. Just like I
All I
don't
want
care
is a
that
new iMac,
Teslas are
buddy.
super expensive.
All I want is a new iMac.
We might be announcing the iMac, a 24-inch iMac. Has colors.
Wait,
You ready for
24?
iMacs?
No,
Yeah,
I
the
want
reason
27.
24-inch. Yeah, I know, but they start out with the small ones. So first we got the 13-inch MacBook Pros. We had the Apple Mini. Like they're still selling the other machines. So I'm pretty sure they're trying to sell it in such a way that, you know, everybody doesn't throw out their own machines and no longer interested in buying the higher end models. They're releasing it for the lower end, not the pro end.
Sure, sure.
But it'll be cool to see how that works. It'll be colors. So the colors of the new iPads have colors. Remember back in the day where Macs had colors?
Yeah, we left those, and for good. That was fine.
Look, as
The
long as one of
resale
those colors,
value. Well,
as
you
long as one
reduce
of
the
those
number.
colors is black, then it's fine. As long as silver and black, we're gonna
Black
have
and
those two
silver,
colors.
exactly,
Yeah, we'll
exactly.
have that.
Yeah.
We'll have that.
Well,
But
good
they'll
luck
also have
for people
colors.
selling me their green iMac 3 years from now.
You
Let's not.
you just finished talking about
So what
subjectivity
was
and
our
how
next?
people
What was our next topic? Our
feel
next
about
topic was
things. No. You just finished talking about how
defunding the
people
police,
feel
guys.
about stuff. How people feel about stuff. And people are going to feel a certain way about their pink iMac. Okay, some people are going to really care about that. That's going to help sales. All right. So that wraps up our VR talk. But I can't wait for there to be digital experiences. I want to buy digital furniture. I want to buy digital art. I want to buy that and be in my house and be able to see that on the walls and see that in the
Or
space.
or have a digital
Imagine this.
canvas that you put up your picture on. That's fine by
Or,
me.
or can you imagine having plants, feeling like you're living in a garden, having vines growing, and every day they keep growing and there's flowers? Like I've seen demos of this where flowers are growing from your desk and butterflies are coming to land on it. The magical experience you can have just by being in your house. Not everybody lives in nice places. Some people live in crap hole places. But I was going to say S hole places, but I don't want to say
Why are
that.
you looking at me
Uh,
when you're saying that?
no, I'm not saying that about you. You live in a nice place. I live in a nice place, but not everybody lives in a nice place. But you can be in your own garage, and it can look like a heavenly space. I
It's
think it'd be
Ready
pretty
Player
cool.
One and Surrogates and The Matrix. It's everything you want.
You can tune into Jumpstart. We're going to be doing this as often as we can. Right now, it'll be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Don't hold us to it, but we're going to do it as often as we can. We're going to be talking about things that are happening currently in the news and things that are timely, but we're also going to give you this education. We want to give you an education. Look, we wanted to do this whole webinar thing and create a course load. We're like, look, we're just going to do the new thing, okay? We're not going to use the old way of school to teach you. We're going to give you the new thing. You take what you want to take, you leave what you want to leave. You can watch us when you want to watch us, or watch us live, participate with what we're doing, ask your questions, and learn as we have these conversations. That's the point of Jumpstart. Jumpstart is a jumpstart for your life.